activist lawyer Fatimi. On foreign scene, Syrian rebel fighters find around 40 bodies showing signs of torture in the mortuary of a military hospital in Damascus. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. Do stay with us. And now the news in full. The Federal Capital Territory High Court on Tuesday remanded the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, in Kuje Correctional Center pending his bail application. Justice Mary Ann Aneni also adjourned hearing in the 110 billion naira money laundering case brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to January 29 and February 25th and 27th for hearing. Correspondent Kilujo reports that the judge had earlier refused to grant a bail application filed by the former governor, saying it was filed prematurely. Justice Aneni, while delivering the ruling, said having been filed when the first defendant was neither in custody nor before the court, the instant application was incompetent. Reading from the ACJ section, the judge said the provision provided that an application for bail could be made when a defendant had been arrested, detained, arraigned, or brought before the court. The judge added that he shall not travel outside without the leave of the court and shall remain in Kuje Correctional Center pending the fulfillment of the bail conditions. Also, the magistrate court in Ado-Ekiti has denied bail to human rights activist Dele Faratimi. Faratimi was taken to court for allegedly defaming Afe Babalola, the founder of Afe Babalola University at Ado-Ekiti. At the court hearing on Tuesday, the presiding magistrate Abayomi Adeosun postponed the decision on Faratimi's bail application to December 20th. This happened after the police counsel Samson Oshobo argued that the bail application submitted by the defendant was incomplete and not properly filed. Now we have Niyi Aburushade, who is a human rights lawyer, and he'll be joining us live from Ibadan to speak on today, which happens to be the World Human Rights Day. Thank you so much for joining us at this time.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
All right, so the world celebrates Human Rights Day today. How would you rate Nigeria when it comes to, full observations of human rights?
Oh, the situation in Nigeria is a bit different from what is happening in the Western world. We cannot talk of human rights much in Nigeria because the human rights in Nigeria only exists for the elite, not for the poor people or the human rights activists. Just as we have said in the news, look at Dele Faratimi. Dele Faratimi was taken to court with handcuffs as if he's a criminal. We all know that Dele Faratimi is not a common criminal, has never committed any crime other than defamatory allegation, which is still an allegation. So it's not someone that can run out of the court. He volunteered himself when he was invited to the police station. He went there of his own accord. So why do they handcuff him in the court? This is a way to break him completely and to humiliate him. So where are we talking of human rights? Which human right is existing in Nigeria? The defamatory allegation is against the person, which is a civil matter. He can be sued instead of taking him to prison. And the allegation remains an allegation. It has not been proved beyond reasonable doubt to the extent that Dele Faratimi should be put in prison. So when we say there is human rights in Nigeria, we are deceiving ourselves. Honestly speaking, the human rights in Nigeria only apply to the elite who have all what they have to survive the cause of justice and to oppress the poor. This is the situation in Nigeria. We cannot talk of human rights. In Europe or in America, it can never happen like that. I'm a human rights activist. I have lived in Europe, in United Kingdom for many years. I have never seen something like this. It's a shame on Nigeria human rights record and a dent on this government as well. Thank you.
All right, so how could human rights be secured when most times it's broken by those who are actually supposed to uphold the rights?
You see, the judiciary, they said, is the last of the common man. Unfortunately, we cannot say that anymore with what is happening with our judiciary. The allegation against the judiciary is serious. So if judiciary, which is to protect the human rights of everyone in this country, is failing in their own duty, in their obligation, then we have serious problem in Nigeria. We need to go back to the drawing board because no one can now rely on judiciary anymore. Imagine it was Deliverance was not given bail. If the partner of the colleague of Yahaya Bello, who was arraigned for stealing money laundering of 110 billion naira, was granted bail. Today, Yahaya would have been granted bail, but the bail was lodged prematurely because we had not been presented in court when the bail was lodged. So he would have been granted bail. But someone that is fighting for human rights, someone that is expressing himself, whereas the Constitution of Nigeria, the Chapter 4 of Nigeria Constitution is dedicated to the fundamental human rights of everyone, including freedom of expression and prayers. So, where is that fundamental human right? Where are we? We need to rely on judiciary, but judiciary is failing us. So, where do we go from here? That's why I say Nigerian, the government, all the three arms of government need to re-examine themselves. Where are we going in Nigeria? The hope of common man has now been subject of ridicule. The court is disappointing the citizen. It's no longer protecting the rights of an individual. If you cannot rely on court anymore, then we are inviting anarchy to our society, a state of lawlessness. Because if the custodian of law that should protect the rights of an individual is failing, and the people, the citizens of this country, if they should lose their respect for the judiciary, the value of the judiciary is no longer there, and then there will be anarchy. And it will be devastating to this country where there is anarchy, because no one will be safe. Not even the elite will be safe where there is anarchy. So something has to be done. There should be proper reorganization of our judiciary system. It's failing the country. Thank you very much.
All right. So lastly, what advice would you give to the federal government when it comes to upholding human rights?
I have just said, part of what I said earlier, that they need to go back to the drawing board. If they want to be exercising every individual to trust in this government, then there should be proper law. The judiciary itself needs complete reorganization, where human rights will be the bedrock. Because where there is no human rights, there is no law. It's a state of lawlessness. If my freedom of expression or speech is no longer guaranteed, that I'm afraid to speak in a democratic society, not in a communist society, not in another oppressive society, we are not under a dictatorial government, then what is it? If I can no longer express myself, the way I should, under the law, then the government needs to look into it and do the needful so that the freedom of speech is equally guaranteed to all, so that the proper restoration of democracy will be made obvious in this country. As it is now, where there is no human right, or human right is not guaranteed, we are in oppressive regime, and that should not continue. If we don't want this democracy to collapse, then the value of democracy, the benefit of democracy should be something that every one of us, whether elite or the masses, or anybody whatsoever, their human rights, including freedom of expression, should be guaranteed. This is the way forward for this country. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, and that was Niyi Aburishabe, a human rights lawyer who joined us live from Ibadan. Now to carry the rest of the stories. A group under the aegis of Network of Civil Society Organizations in Edo State today staged a peaceful protest to mark the International Human Rights Day in Benin City, the Edo State capital, with the theme Our Right, Our Future, Right Now. The group, in a large numbers, marched through some popular roads in Benin metropolis, including the ever-busy King Square, before arriving at the Secretariat of the Nigerian Union of Journalists at Edo State Council of GRA Benin. Addressing journalists, leader of the group, Comrade Emmanuel Ogbidi, and another activist urged government at all levels to protect citizens and prioritize human rights across the country.
That today, the 10th of December, is World Human Rights Day, as celebrated and marked all over the world, including Nigeria as a member of the United Nations. And today, there are couples of issues as the theme of World Human Rights Day speaks very clearly. Our rights, our future, right now.
Speaking after receiving the group, the chairman Nigerian Union of Journalists, Edo State, Comrade Festus Alke, promised the support of practicing journalists in the state.
Expect Afe Babalola son to activate the instrument of civil court to redress, to get redress. A situation whereby police is now used as an instrument of oppression, as an instrument of subjugation in a democratic system of government is extremely unpalatable. We as civil rights activists today, which is set aside for Human Rights Day, we are saying no to oppression. We are saying capital rejetamenta to homo milelupus. We are saying capital rejetamenta to injustice.
Journalists, we are also with you 100%. We are also unjustly arrested. We have had cases where journalists were also bruised while carrying out their legitimate duties. We have also had cases too where journalists were forcefully put into prison for also carrying out their legitimate duty. Therefore, what you are doing now, you are not alone with it. We are with you 100%.
We are still on to Galaxy News. We'll quickly take a break, and when we return, the news continues. Just stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle with Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Remember to follow and tag us on Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comment, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. A bill seeking to mandate domestic processing of at least 30% of raw materials before exportation has passed second reading in the Senate, sponsored by Senator Nwebonyi Peter. The bill aims to amend the Raw Materials Research and Development Council Act 2024, introducing provisions for local processing and production protection. Correspondent Kunuju sent in this report.
In his lead debate at Tuesday's plenary, Senator Nwebonyi highlighted the transformative potential of the bill for Nigeria's economy. He argued that mandating local processing would boost local manufacturing industries, create jobs for Nigerians, reduce dependence on imports, and the demand for foreign exchange.
This legislation aims to boost local manufacturing, enhance job creation, and reduce overdependency on importation, and mandating, I repeat, and mandating that no raw material be exported outside Nigeria without undergoing at least 30% processing domestically.
To develop other economies, whereas we have the capacity, the human capital, the technical resources to a kind of art on these raw materials, to process these raw materials.
After deliberations, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, put the bill to a voice vote, where a majority of lawmakers voted in favor, allowing the bill to scale its second reading.
Bill for an act to provide for the establishment of raw materials, processing and local production protection, and for later matters 2024, second reading taken. And this bill is now referred to the Committee on Science and Technology to be brought back to the Senate in 6 weeks.
In a similar development, the Senate also gave approval for the establishment of Federal University of Mining and Geosciences, JUS. The passage of the bill followed the consideration of a report by the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund. Chairman of the committee, Senator Mohammed Muntari, said that establishing the Federal University of Mining and Geoscience would deepen research on mineral exploration in Nigeria.
That the Senate do receive and pass the bill for an act to repeal the Nigeria Institute of Mining and Geoscience Act 2018 and establish the Federal University of Mining and Geoscience JUS to make comprehensive provision for its due management and administration for related matters 2024 as recommended. In conclusion,
Senator representing Plateau Central, Senator D.K. Blanc, who sponsored the bill, said establishing the institution will enable Nigeria to build the domestic human capacity, knowledge and skills required for the development of the mining sector.
the public hearing of this bill was overwhelming, where we have even the governor of Plateau, the Bongom of Jos, and 6 first-class traditional rulers and various stakeholders in the mining institute came. I feel that this bill is another opportunity for us to have a university of mines.
Following a close-by-close consideration, the Senate passed the bill for a third reading.
A bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian...
The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has expressed optimism about the country's economic performance in 2025. He attributed a positive outlook to increase oil production and other economic indices that are expected to boost revenue and reduce debt service. Edun made the remarks in Abuja while presenting an overview of the expected 2025 budget proposal and the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper to the House of Representatives. Chairman of the House Committee on National Planning and Economic Development, Ibrahim Ayokunle Isiaka, emphasized the importance of ensuring that the 2025 budget is aligned with the country's development priorities. The chairman of the House Committee on Finance, James Abiodun Falake, stressed the importance of reviewing the revenue performances of ministries, departments and agencies, NDAs, in relation to the 2024 budgets to ensure that agencies are meeting their revenue target and that their expenditures are in line with their budget allocations.
Within the context of the 2025 budget proposal and the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, in sum, we must remember that under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's leadership, necessary, bold and courageous macroeconomic reform measures have been taken and they have been implemented with determination such that...
And don't forget that many of the challenges we are throwing on your table is in the interest of nationalism and patriotism. So we want you to please brace up and see how best you continue your giant strides to at ensuring that your collaborative effort at the Federal Executive Council together with our President, we keep our Nigerians.
So we are trying to take a look at the revenue performances of all our agencies as it regards the last appropriation. We are now in December. By now, any agency that comes before us should be able to confirm to us what revenue they have generated between last year and November.
And now we'll move over to the foreign desk for more news.
This is news from the international scene. Syrian rebel fighters say they have found around 40 bodies showing signs of torture in the mortuary of a military hospital in the suburb of Damascus following the overthrow of Bashar al-Assad. Video and photos showed bodies wrapped in blood-stained white shrouds piled up inside a refrigerated room at Rasta Hospital on Monday. Several of the bodies appeared to have wounds and bruising on their faces and torsos. Pieces of adhesive tape bearing numbers and names were also visible. He said the rebels had gone to hospital after receiving a tip from a member of staff about bodies being dumped there. It was not clear how long the bodies have been stored at the mortuary, but they were at various stages of decomposition. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a UK-based monitoring group, says almost 60,000 people were tortured and killed in the Assad government's prison. Human rights groups say more than 100,000 people have disappeared since Assad ordered a brutal crackdown on pro-democracy protests in 2011 that triggered the civil war. A Syrian non-governmental organization said it was likely that the bodies in Rasta were detainees from the notorious Sayyidanaya prison, which is just north of Damascus. The discovery of the bodies came as